In the two previous episodes of I Got Rhythm, parts 8 and 9, we learned how 16th notes and 16th rests are counted in 4/4 meter. We also saw how any of the 4 16th notes that reside within a beat can be notationally linked with 2 horizontal beams connecting their vertical stems, forming what some refer to as a quad, which I find is a very helpful term, visually and conceptually. And as you recall, a single 16th note, when preceded and followed by rests, may be indicated by a double flag attached to its stem. In this and the next couple of lessons, I'll demonstrate a variety of cool ways to create 16th note syncopations, using approaches similar to what we did with 8th note syncopations. We'll start by looking at shifting accent patterns that can be applied to a continuous, unbroken stream of 16th notes, using what I call the rhythm within a rhythm approach. As you recall from our study of 8th note syncopations, that would be in I Got Rhythm parts 5 through 7, I offered several examples of riffs built around a dotted quarter accent chain. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, which can be used to create a cyclical shifting pattern within a continuous stream of 8th notes that in 4/4 meter takes 3 bars to come full circle and resolve back to beat 1. That exercise is a great learning tool because it covers every possible permutation of where an 8th note accent can fall in a bar of 4/4. I'd now like to show you how to similarly apply shifting accents to 16th notes. The only difference is now we're in a smaller rhythmic gear, so to speak, and working with subdivisions that are twice as fast as 8th notes and half their duration. As a primer exercise, we'll begin by playing a steady stream of 16th notes entirely on the D string, with a different accent scheme in each bar created by hitting the 12th fret D note once per beat, with the other 3 16ths being the open D string, picked repeatedly, like this. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Okay, so with the counting, that's 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Notice that in each bar we're shifting and metrically displacing that high D note ahead or forward by 1 16th note. And that due to the way it pops above the lower notes, it's inherently accented, even if we pick everything at the same volume or dynamic level. This, by the way, is a good example of the role that melodic contour plays in shaping a line rhythmically. In the next exercise, we're going to shift our accent high D note forward by 1 16th note on each successive beat, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. As you can hear, this creates a rather dizzying, tricky sounding chain of 5-note groups that interestingly takes 5 bars to resolve in 4/4, to the point where our starting note, a high D, finally lands on beat 1 again. And interestingly, in 5/4, it only takes 1 bar to do this, right? If you're in 5/4, you go 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 5E and a 1. And that's it, you're done. This 5s on 4s effect is an example of a slick, sophisticated rhythmic device called Hemiola, which is something drummers love to use. You know, you hear them playing 16th notes in the snare drum, but then accenting every 5th note, or every 3rd, or every 6th note, or 7th note. And Hemiola, which is the basis for polyrhythms, may be defined as a recurring accent pattern that groups notes in a way that kind of goes against the grain of the rhythmic subdivision and suggests a different one played at a different tempo, like a slower tempo. In this case, we're implying what sounds like quintuplets, ba-ba-da-ba-da, ba-ba-da-ba-da, played at a slower tempo. And we'll explore quintuplets in a future lesson. Now, if we were to take the previous example and stagger that accented high D note an additional 16th note apart, forming 6-note groups, we would then be implying, I guess you could call them phony sextuplets, like this. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. We would also be creating, within the stream of 16th notes, a 3-bar chain of dotted quarter syncopations, which is something we're now well acquainted with from the previous lessons on 8th notes. Remember, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and So a very cool thing you can do is apply this pattern to melodic lead runs based on pentatonic scales or modes, as great alternate picker shredders like Eric Johnson, Zach Wilde, Steve Morse, John Petrucci, and Joe Bonamassa do. Okay, so instead of playing this 6-note module all over one beat, like we're going to play it as 16th notes, but phrase it in 6-note groups like that. So you get this interesting thing where it starts on the upbeat each time. So it's like 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. And you can move that all around. You can go. Etc. Keep going. It makes for a great picking and rhythm exercise.